Hi guys, welcome to my vlog. Today I'll be bringing you guys along as I tour some SoCal colleges around the LA area. And just to give you a heads up, most of the weather during this time was not how it usually is. If you know LA pretty well, it's pretty good weather usually. It has good sun, but most of the time I was here, it kind of drizzled a little bit, so it might not look as much as it usually is, but yeah. And just a heads up, all of this is based on my own opinion, and mainly based on the location and surroundings of the colleges there. So to start off, we are first visiting Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona, and it's a little farther away from the LA downtown area. So it's a little suburban, and as you can see, you need a car to get there, get around and get supplies, as it's not really in the city life area. The campus size is quite big. It's a really big, large flat land, and I would say aesthetics there are really beautiful. There's a lot of new architecture and buildings there that are being constructed and have been constructed. So a lot of new things coming out, but mainly a lot of the buildings are widespread out. The campus is on a flat land, so you can easily walk around, unlike Cal Poly SLO, which is kind of on a slope hill. I would say for the atmosphere around this college, I felt that, or first off, it smelled really good. You're really close to nature. As you can see, there's like a hill in the back. I did smell some cow poop, as there is a farm, I think, near the back. But regardless of that, it smells like flowers and nature, and everything was good vibes. And yeah, I think for this college, I had a pretty good experience visiting it there. It was the first one we visited, so good impressions off from the get-go. But I would give it a solid 8 out of 10 because of how welcoming it felt. And the aesthetics were just really nice for me. I feel like even though I like to be close to the city, I also really like to be close to nature, and so this just hit that mark. Next up, we got USC, and to start off, I would say the location of this is not as good as the previous one, as the college is more in the city life of LA. It's closer to the more urban area, and so I would say the environment isn't as safe as before, but it is gated, so that's a good thing. And there's a lot of security throughout campus, and as you can see here, there's transportation, very convenient, and a lot of museums next to it. Little quick story, I was walking to the campus from our car, and this guy came over and like squished my arm, like this random stranger, but This is me like after I got squished, I guess. But yeah, I do look happy. And yeah. Anyways, hopefully that doesn't affect my opinion on the campus. Regardless of that, it is a really big campus. Not as big as Pomona though. Very pretty in my opinion. The style of architecture used a lot of bricks. Not in this one though. But in future clips, you're gonna see they use a lot of bricks. So it's pretty traditional, which kind of shows the history of the college. And I would say, even though it feels pretty big, it's actually pretty small compared to Pomona, as everything is squished onto one campus, while Pomona is kind of more spread out. And I would say the atmosphere felt really welcoming. Despite being in the city, you do get a lot of nature on campus, so it feels like you are like not even in the city. And I would say the whole campus felt really it felt like a small Ivy League in my opinion, as it had more traditional buildings and it felt really like grand. There was a waterfall in the middle of campus, or not a waterfall, a fountain in the middle of campus, so that was pretty cool. That does add to the grandness I felt of the whole area. Here's the campus map. As you can tell, it is pretty compact, yet also pretty large. And then here I'm walking to the bookstore, and this was probably one of the only things that was open on campus that day, as school hasn't started yet, they're still on break. But the bookstore kind of gave me a great impression of the whole college, actually. Everyone was so nice and welcoming there. The atmosphere I felt there was just like, yeah, I like this place. And then I saw a few squirrels on my way, walking throughout campus. If you don't know me, I like squirrels if they're on campus. I mean, if you see a tree, there's probably a squirrel. But I was on the lookout, and these two squirrels here were having a great day, I think. They're chasing each other. Yeah, it looks fun to me. And I would say that the squirrels in USC, they're pretty fat, so that means that they're well fed. So I suppose that the students are also well fed. But I think all colleges do that, so. But yeah, just a side note. Now we're walking to the USC Village, and this place is basically where some of the dorms are for the students. It's a very good place for gatherings and is really convenient for students, as it has a lot of shops like Target and Trader Joe's and other restaurants that students can hang out and eat at. But this just shows how you don't even need a car to survive in USC, and how the whole entire environment is just a little village to stay at. I visited USC again on a sunnier day, and as you can tell here, it looks pretty good. But to wrap up my USC review, I would give it a 7.8 out of 10, as I would say the setting isn't the best, but the college and campus itself is very pretty and very safe to be at. Next up is college visit number 3, which is UCLA. And to first off, let's talk about the location. I would say this location compared to the previous one is a little bit better, as it's in a more residential area and it's next to Beverly Hills. And I would say here the campus size of UCLA is quite large. It feels like a little city of itself. So USC is like a village and UCLA is like a city. And I would say that the location and the campus itself is pretty urban. Next to the campus is Westwood Village, which, quite similar to USC, is basically a place where students can go and get things that they need to get, daily needs, and so that just makes it really convenient. The atmosphere that I felt at UCLA was really earthy. It felt really peaceful, quite like you were in a forest, I guess. And I would say, even though most of the buildings felt a little bit older than Pomona, it felt like a really welcoming and new campus to be on. So we're continuing our journey around campus, and I found a squirrel eating through the recycling bin. I don't know what it was eating, to be honest, or what it was doing, maybe collecting some artifacts to go back home. But yeah, caught me off guard, or I caught it off guard. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that added a great experience to my college visit for UCLA. As I walked through the campus, it does give a little bit vibes of USC with all the bricks and stuff, but it's a little teeny bit different, maybe because of the weather. I really like this center court where all of these buildings are just facing each other, and it feels really grand. I would give UCLA a 9 out of 10 because of how convenient it is, how great of a neighborhood it is in, and also how welcoming and how earthy it feels like in here. Next up is Caltech, college visit number 4, and to start off with the location, I would say it's pretty good, pretty safe. It's near downtown Pasadena, so not close to downtown LA. So compared to UCLA, it's a little farther from the busy city life. To start off with the campus size, it's pretty small compared to the other campuses that we've been to before, and that's mainly because Caltech is a STEM based school, so there's less buildings for all these majors. And as you can probably tell, I'm not sure if you're feeling it through the screen, but I felt a really chill and peaceful vibe here on campus. It just feels really welcoming when I was coming there, and all the aesthetics that I felt from the buildings were really relaxing and cozy. It felt kind of like a home. Maybe that's because it's a small campus that I felt like that way. And I would say, based on location and environment around the place, it's a really convenient college. As you can tell, it's not too gated, so everything is out. If you like walk a block from school, you can see like your neighbors, just normal residential areas. So it does feel really close to the Pasadena area. Here you can see is the dining place area outdoors, and I think the right building on the right side is new. It looks pretty new to me, but there are a lot of new buildings as well on campus, so it does have some antiqueness, some old buildings, but then also some new buildings. And I really did like the fountain in the middle of campus. That just really brought life to the whole entire area. And to end this off, I would give Caltech also a 9 out of 10, mainly because of the vibes I was getting from the campus and how safe it felt and how cozy it felt like a home. Next up, we have Cal State Long Beach, and I would say first glance the location is pretty good. For this college, I only got to quickly drive around campus, so I might not have too accurate of a review on this, but hopefully this can help a little bit. For the campus size, even driving around, the campus felt really big itself. Everything was really spread out, but then everything also seemed really close together. Here are the dorms on campus. As you can see, brick. And I would say this campus, all in all, it's a pretty good one. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10, mainly because I wasn't able to experience the campus as much as I did. But it's a really good campus to be on. It feels really beachy, as it says here, go beach. And it felt like a pretty suitable, pretty good campus. Next up, we are touring UC Irvine, UCI, college visit number 6. And to start off, I guess I'll say the location. I said that it was perfect, mainly because it felt like a city of itself, kind of similar to UCLA, but it felt much more isolated, and that's because it's a little off. You have to go on a bridge to get to the college, so it's like on this little island, kind of like. And the college itself was really pretty. It felt quite new, and there was a lot of nature all around the place. Everything is flat and really spread out. As you can tell, there's a lot of buildings and a lot of colleges here and there. The campus size, I would say, is like close to Stanford. I would give UC Irvine a 9 out of 10. Yes. Mainly because of how the location is pretty new and how it felt really isolated, yet also convenient next to a city. Next up is CBU, and this is college visit number 7, the last one. And I guess to start off briefly, the campus size is moderate, so it's not too big, not too small, perfect. And as I did also drive around campus briefly and walked around it, I got to experience how safe it felt. The campus did seem like quite attached everywhere, so you don't have to really drive to get to places from one place to another. But other than that, I felt that this campus was pretty good. That might be my personal bias, but it's a really good campus, and if I were to give it a rating, I would give it a 8 out of 10 because of how just simple and how perfect it feels to me.